crab apple, crab apple, crab apple. Did somebody say crab apple? I've been saying crab apple for years. For years. I've been saying crab apple for years. 11 milkshakes in the back of the club. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 milkshakes. Ooh, 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 ooh. We are back to the warehouse for Blitzball Battle 7. We Got Ice is on fire. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about Blitzball. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey. Moment of silence. Thank you, Daddy. I'm calling this segment of the podcast Things of Note. Things of Note. The pot's coming together. So we had... Who was it? Fucking Woogas. Fucking We Got Ice. It was an absolute blowout. You saw it. It was an absolute disturbing display of dominance. Ooh, good D's by me. Dan Warwick, more D's. Dan Warwick, we came into this game, we heard all the buzz about Big Bad Dan, and he completely and utterly shits himself. Unfortunate. We all want to bounce back, I'm sure. I don't want to say it was funny, but it was a little funny, especially the way he handled it, because he handled it with grace. That's the big storyline for Dan Warwick today. He sucked ass, but he did handle it with grace, and it was very entertaining as always throughout. Hope we find some success for him, because he really does want it very badly. He seems to be in a pretty good space mentally, because, like I said, he did handle it so well. On the pitching side, mostly. He has a little bit of an outburst at the plate, understandably so. And that was also after he had a tough time on the mound. But when he's on the mound, he didn't get a single out. He let up hits and walks galore, and he didn't really have a go fuck yourself moment to himself, which he usually does. So I was glad to see that he was really composed up there. Hopefully that means something. We get a little bit of the dangly foot from him, which is interesting. It looks like it worked for the first 2 pitches, and then after that he kind of just lost it. I think maybe his arm was out of rhythm with his top half out of rhythm with the lower half. I'm not really sure what it was, because he was yanking a lot of balls and letting a lot of them fly high. I'm sure Moylan will get in there in the lab with him and figure out what's going on. But he's always tinkering. I like that he's always tinkering. He really wants to be good so badly. Jack Doyle continues to be an MVP. Just kind of absurd. We'll get into it during the meat of the game. He just doesn't care, and he's so good. It's really absurd. Zoe, kind of like a non-factor. He does his thing. He has a couple good at-bats. I think he gets all of We Got Ice's outs, except for one, maybe. Not that they got out that much in this game, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. I don't know how much the shoulder is affecting him. Maybe a tiny bit at the plate. I don't know if we even got what's going on with his shoulder quite yet, but I think it's his throwing shoulder. But yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out. I'm sure you can be in a little bit of pain and swing a 2-ounce bat. So he'll be fine. His swings looked fine. He looks like himself up there for the most part. Just the pitches he got out on today, I think, were some tough ones. I think there was 2 pipe balls that struck him out. So that just happens to you sometimes. And yeah, we got our first shellacking of the tournament so far. It's bound to happen. And We Got Ice just kind of goes on a run here. So let's see. They just look really dominant. Let's get into our burn. The reigning champions, We Got Ice, take on Woogas in a familiar matchup. Dan starts on the mound, and Rourke throws 7,000 balls, and We Got Ice is welcome to the walk parade. Jimmy Norps went off the wall to squeak out a single run, but it won't be enough, because Jack and Zoe demolish poor Jimmy for 5 more. Captain Jack Doyle will run the score high tonight. His 2 home runs cement their victory in this game. We Got Ice wins 10-1. Yeah, short burn. Not a short game, long game. The editors really pad the runtime with the what do they call those in documentaries? The confessionals, like the challenge style or survivor style. I like those. It's fun. A lot of them are very facetious. Whenever you get a take from somebody, especially like someone like Trevor Plouffe isn't really giving you anything honest there, but it's funny. They're trying to create a narrative around certain things. I like it. It's entertaining. It's good. You kind of like it helps you separate each inning pretty well, and so that they all have their distinct moment in time. They're fun. So we start in the top of the first. I mean, it's unfortunate, but Dan Rook really just doesn't have it at all. He keeps missing either high or inside. Like I said before, it's got to be something mechanically. The floating foot doesn't seem to be working super well. I don't think that's the problem. I think when everything is working, that is very helpful for him. I understand wanting to keep your weight on that back foot, because especially you're not on a mound when you're pitching in the warehouse or anywhere, usually when you're throwing blitz balls or wiffle balls. So you kind of need to create all of the momentum yourself because you're not falling down like you would be on a mound. So I think leaning on your back foot and keeping all the weight there forces you to then shift your momentum towards the batter, as opposed to just standing straight up and down, having a slide step. A lot of times I think your balls will fly high because your momentum doesn't transfer fully from back to front. So I think that's what he's trying to do with that floating foot. And I'm sure we'll get there at some point, but I think his rhythm and with his landing foot is just a little bit off, and maybe his arm is lagging behind a little bit. So we'll see. I think if there's anything positive you can take out of Dan Rourke in this game is, well, he got the big hit with his Rourke 7000. That was huge. And he just kept as much composure as he possibly could for having such a bad game. So good for him. Jimmy Norp comes in, I think with I think it was second and third, no outs. 3 runs have already scored at that point. He walks somebody. I think maybe he gets Zoe out at some point. And he ultimately walks in the 2 runs because Dan had already walked a couple people. So now the non-competitive walk rule comes into place. It's a double. And that gives us 5. They didn't really come in and dominate with the bats. It was really just, they were just fully given those 5 runs. So that was an unfortunate way to start the game. It just, I mean, I think maybe Jack even said that at some point. Like, they just gave us all of those. So, tough look. Woogas, it's just one of those things that they just don't perform well against We Got Ice for whatever reason. They're kryptonite. So, who knows? We get to the bottom of the first, and Woogas, one thing they can usually do is hit, especially with Jimmy Norp. That's something he's always been capable of. I still, at this point, I don't blame Jimmy Norp for letting up those runs at all. He came into a tough spot, so right now he can still have a great game himself. Especially early, where Jack looks like a human being, and he's not crisp. He's leaving a lot of balls over the middle, and he's missing a lot. He's missing a lot outside with that sidearm sinker, the 3/4 arm slot sinker. It's not breaking back yet. I think he's throwing a little bit too far outside, too far for it to break back into the outside pipe. And then he's missing with it inside. So he's just missing that middle zone. They score a run off him while he's still human Jack. And this is just what he does best, though. He is tinkering on the fly while he's on the mound. He's able to just lock in and figure it all out. Everything gets so much crisper. He starts to mix in his knuckle drop a little bit more, which I think I was talking to Drew about in our episode where we just chopped it up. 2 boys talking bull. Go check it out. But he usually only uses that pitch as a strikeout pitch, and he just starts to throw it in, like sometimes for a first pitch, sometimes in the middle of a count. Because if he throws it right, it's kind of like drops in right down the middle of the plate. So I think it's not like a Fernando Cruz forkball that can only really be useful if it's a ball. You can throw that pitch for a strike and just confuse people. So I'm glad he's starting to use it more and mix it in, because it's just a sick pitch. When it breaks right, it is just like kind of an unhittable thing. Especially because it's thrown over the top, and he does have an over-the-top fastball, so it tunnels really well off of that straight fastball, which instead just falls completely off the table. Just such a cool pitch to watch. I think that was what Drew said also in my chat with him. He said that's one pitch he wishes he had from anyone else in the warehouse. He absolutely loves that knuckleball. It is a very cool pitch. I can't throw it. I have tiny, tiny little fingers. Yeah, so aside from the knuckleball, he also starts like landing his three-quarter dropper, because that's kind of his go-to fastball, is that three-quarter sinking action fastball, because it's just, he knows how to throw it at the top of the speed zone. It's always either 68 or 69, and he's just, even if it's like middle, it's a pitch you can kind of get away with sometimes. But now he's starting to hit the outside spot. He's starting to hit the low and inside spot with it. He's starting to dot his spots really well, and it just makes it really tough for these guys, because that was kind of their one chance. They got a run in with no outs, and they did not capitalize and keep their momentum going. Top of the second, I think with Woogas not scoring there more than they did, it just kind of feels like the game's over already, because Jack is just like so clearly trying to not walk and swinging at everything. He's swinging at stuff that's about to hit him in the ankles. He's swinging at stuff that's so far and away it's in the stands. And in those same at bats, he's hitting home runs. He looks like it's the most dramatic version of a Giancarlo Stanton at bat, where he looks terrible for two swings to trick you and have you throw one over and just absolutely mash like a middle slider. So it's almost like I would almost be pissed off if I was Jimmy Norp or Dan Work, just watching someone like give us pity swings and pity strikeouts, or seemingly so, and then just take us deep, because it just feels like you're toying with your food. Again, like, Zoe's doing what he needs to do, getting on base enough, but if Jack's going to just swing at every single thing and sometimes run into home runs, it's just absurd. It's on both sides of the ball, he's able to do this. It's absolutely absurd. It's fun to watch, but also frustrating, because we've all been there with a friend that you're playing wiffle ball one-on-one, and you just can't find the strike zone, and you see that first pity swing, and it just makes you so much more mad. So then that on top of the home runs is just like, but they're all good sports. So yeah, they get to 10 pretty easily. Kelsey even gets an at bat. When Kelsey gets in the game, you know it's already a pity game at that point. It almost bit Baggage in the ass last time, but this is the epitome of like a pity Kelsey at bat. Yeah, they score the 10. Jack comes in to close it out. It takes him 4 pitches to close it out. He even further taunts Woogas by telling Rourke what the sequence is going to be, gives him the 3 pitches he's going to throw to him, and Dan Rourke swings and grounds out on the first one. So, yeah, it feels like a quick game, because there was just so much nothing, and then it ends on a fart, but the walks really dragged it out. So it wasn't the best game, but Jack Doyle especially knows how to make it entertaining. Same thing with Dan Rourke. They're just two different sides of the kooky coin. Love them both dearly. It's time for our player of the game. Player of the game, that's Jack. He doesn't even try anymore, and he's easily the best player in the warehouse. He's going to take We Got Ice straight to the Warehouse Cup if he keeps playing like this. I don't think this is how he was swinging and hitting last time. I think he was a little bit more... He was hitting everything like in the first pitch last game, or last tournament, rather. This time, he's just like, I'm swinging at everything, and one of them is going to be a home run or a hit or of some sort. Yeah, he just doesn't care. He really just doesn't care. He cares a little bit about the pitching, I think. That's kind of his thing. He's having so much fun at the plate, but the pitching, like you actually get that a little bit of insight in his interview with Kelsey, where he's explaining his thought process, and it's like, oh wow, okay, he does sort of think about this stuff a little bit. It would make sense that one of the things he does think about is the pitching, because that's his, almost like his entire personality. That's his entire livelihood, is throwing balls. So, Jack Doyle, we might see a repeat MVP performance. This might be the first back-to-back MVP performance we've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first back-to-back if he does it. And it looks like he's going to do it. It looks like We Got Ice has a clear path to the championship right now. A little bit more on that later in the next segment. Surprise segment. It's time for our Play the Game. Play the Game. My play of the game is a funky one. It's when Dan Rourke stops himself from slamming his bat on the ground or hitting the strike zone with it. You love to see some restraint. Very good. It reminded me of the moment of Happy Gilmore where he starts to control himself a little bit. He is kind of our Happy Gilmore of the warehouse. We love that. We love great job, Dan. you're master of your own domain. So congrats to you for doing that. If you stay on this path, the success will come. We promise you. So good job. That was funny. There was, I think, the first one he struck out on. He just kind of looks back at the zone and was like, "I'm coming for you." Then I think when he strikes out to end the inning, he winds up but stops himself. Just so good. He's just so funny. A lot of yips and yelps from him this game. Love that man. Love you, Dan. I don't have a thingy for this one, but I'm gonna do this every. I'll probably do it now because we're at the halfway point of the regular season. I'll do it after the 8 games, and maybe I'll do it. That'll probably be it, honestly. But I'm gonna power rank these teams. This is like a State of the Union for the warehouse right now, and where I feel like these teams are at competitively against one another. I'll go from the bottom to the top of the 8 teams. I don't think. It's hard to say. I think some of the teams that I have ranked on the lower end and the higher end still have a chance at winning this whole thing. There's even like a team that's very far down that has won a game this tournament. So it's not just about this tournament. It's about how this tournament right now has affected my overall thought about these teams in the grand scheme of things. So my number 8 team in the power rankings, the Jolly Olives. I don't think they have a chance at doing anything in this tournament. They are clearly going to be skunked. And I think that is just gospel at this point. It's going to happen. They look lost. If Drew can't be dominant on the mound, it's not like we have a second pitcher that can kind of pick him up at all. And Jolly is here to be a bat, and he's done none of that at all. So, tough stuff. My number 7 team is someone who usually takes this bottom spot, but they did win a game. They looked okay, and Joe's is hitting a little bit. It's Del Caribe. Del Caribe in this number 7 spot. So yeah, you're not going to climb up that much just for winning one game. Anything can happen in the warehouse. People can win games. It was still impressive. It was good, but I still have Whack just above them because they have such a powerhouse in Dalton Feely. And Justin Pennick did show some signs of growth, not on the mound, but with the bat. I even though they lost that game, I see a lot of potential with Justin Pennick moving forward. But I just having someone so good as Dalton Feely, I think he's better overall than Lou right now, and Justin Pennick has shown more at the plate than Joe's has in the past few seasons. Minus last game, they had similar first games in this warehouse. So right now we have number 8 Jolly Olives, number 7 Del Caribe, number 6 Whack. Number 5 I'll have Baggage. They're just on the other side of the halfway point because they're still Baggage. I know they won a game, but they almost blew it. They almost threw it away. But I think Whack maybe should be ranked a little bit higher than them, maybe just above them. But I'm a Baggage fan, and I believe. I'm a believer. And just above Baggage, surprising with the game that they just had, but Woogas is my number 4 spot because they have 2 guys that can, at the top of the game, can really pitch. It hasn't come to fruition in recent years, but the talent on that ball club is just upper echelon. They have 2 guys that should be like they could be aces on any team on the mound, and Jimmy Norp can be one of the best bats in the entire tournament. And Dan's starting to figure it out. He's got that Rourke 7000. He's got a hit with it against one guy he's never gotten a hit against before. So I think these guys will put it together because they're just too talented to not. Same kind of thing with Forgotten Rotten. Forgotten Rotten shouldn't be as high as they are with how they've performed so far. They didn't look great in their first game, but they're Forgotten Rotten. We have a Rookie of the Year in Shelfie paired up with a former big leaguer. So you're always going to have some faith in Forgotten Rotten to just pull something out of their ass because of the sheer talent. Like, Shelfie can take over a tournament if he wants to. And we've all been waiting for Trevor to wake up fully with the bat for years now. So that could happen. You never know. It's between We Got Ice and McFlurry Power right now for the 1 and 2 spots. And I think with how good We Got Ice just was in their first game, I got to put McFlurry Power number 2. I think they're very formidable with K-Mac, who hasn't even pitched yet and has been one of the best, ERA-wise, one of the best pitchers in the warehouse in recent years. And maybe got a bat upgrade with Dan Canobbio. We'll see. He looks great with the bat in his first game, and at times can be just as dominant as Colin Stone was. Not as flashy and not as strikeout heavy, but can be very, very effective on the mound. He's up there with the best of them. So great replacement for Colin Stone. And I talked about it all episode long. It's the Jack Doyle show. If he just keeps doing what he's doing, they just steamroll everyone in their path. And even if he looks a little bit off at the plate, Zoe can pick it up. Zoe can hit homers with the best of them. And Jack Doyle, if he looks a little shaky on the mound, he knows how to turn it around and figure it out. It's an amazing thing. So those are my current power rankings. I will update them right before the playoffs, and we'll see where we're at. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And yeah, if you listened, type in your rankings. Type in your shitty little rankings in the comments. We can get into a full-fledged argument. I'll give you my phone number. You can scream to me about it or something like that if you want to. And now we have our preview of our first Game 2. Baggage versus Del Caribe. A classic matchup. Lots of blood with these two teams. We had the classic... Watch the YouTube for this. By Jake. Yeah, it felt like so long ago. I think it must have only been like 2 years by now. I don't know if they're going to play up this storyline again with Baggage and Del Caribe. It's definitely bigger if it was an elimination game. Right now, it's almost the opposite, where one of these two teams that are kind of considered bad in general are going to have a chance to get one of the bye. They could get a bye. I think the 2-0 teams face off to see who gets that bye, usually in like a one-inning game. So crazy that one of Del Caribe and Baggage is going to have that bye play-in game. Kind of nuts. That's why it's important to win that first game, I guess. So, yeah, a lot of history with these two teams. I think they're pretty evenly matched with the way they've both been playing. Lou needs to shut down Baggage with their bats. If he can do that, and Joe's hits a little bit, and Lou actually just... I know he hit a little bit in his first game, but he hasn't been like Lou, like the guy that just rakes and just rips doubles off the back wall harder than anyone else. If we see that guy... they could win. I think that they have a decent formula to win, but I think Baggage has a more sure thing against these guys, because Joe's could kind of just fall apart at any time. He could just not hit at all next game, and that really hamstrings Lou, especially if he's not in like team carrying mode at the moment. So I think Jake might start on the mound because Jimmy pitched more last game and he didn't look as sharp as Jake. Kind of just roll with the hot hand right now, see how Jake does, and just have a role reversal of last time Baggage played. Start Jake, and if he gets in trouble, throw Jimmy in there. It's kind of the benefit of having two guys that are pretty capable. Neither of these guys are an ace, but they're two very solid twos. And I said it in my last episode about Baggage. Jimmy in the first inning did look good. He's got a plan. He's got an arsenal. He's confident on the mound with those pitches. He can locate them. And maybe he just got a little tired last game. So it's good to have another guy that can throw strikes. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do against Lou with the bats. We'll see if that's the thing. Like I said, these guys are number twos. So there's a chance that they can get hit around a bunch. It's not a sure thing at all that they dominate on the mound. So we'll see. Baggage, I'm rooting for you. Just keep being pests. Keep getting that run over from first to third. It's important. You guys do it better than anyone. You hit that ball hard and on the ground. And in this tournament, that formula works. Let's see what you guys do. It's time for plugs. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you're subscribing. If you're not, I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers by the end of the tournament. That would be awesome. So please, like, subscribe, tell your friends. If you know someone that watches Warehouse Games also, let them know about us. Sometimes there will be, hopefully there will be an us again at some point. Peter, I miss you dearly. I love you so much. Yeah, and listen to wherever you, if you're not a YouTube watcher, you can listen on the road. That's what I do with my time a lot. I'm a driver during the day a lot of times, so I'm just crushing podcast after podcast. So subscribe to us on the podcast apps as well. You can find us on Instagram at blitzballboys_, posting some shorts and stuff on YouTube, and we reels on Instagram, all that good stuff. We do like post like the burns with like a little highlight reel underneath it too. I'm gonna start posting some like, what would you call it? Original content on there too. Maybe like once I'm finally caught up with the games and I'm current with them, I can give you some previews of me while I'm driving in the car maybe. What else? You can listen to the Swifty Boys, our Taylor Swift album review podcast. It's a lot of fun. You can listen to the Hobby Boys, our beer review podcast. You can listen to the Sandy Boys on patreon.com/boysmedia. It's our OC recap podcast. Listen to all that stuff. Watch it all. We love you. Peter, is there anything else we want to talk about? No. Bye-bye. Peace.